So that's what the beginning of the foundation of man and woman is showing us, is that we moved out of alignment, we moved out of the presence, we moved out of clarity, and we no longer trust. So he knew he was without the usual covering or protection. Once Adam and his wife decided to do what it is they did, he knew he was out of protection. He knew he was out of covering. Okay. He knew he would now be exposed to harm. He knew that he now would be exposed to vulnerabilities. He knew that it was going to now give him a new characteristic of behavior as he's going about his life, right? I know I've been there before. You commit yourself to a wrongdoing, you do it, and then now you have to take on the consequences of what that provides. So therefore, you moved out of alignment, you moved out of presence, you moved out of clarity. Because why? Ultimately, the core root of it is you no longer trust God. Okay. Now, so as we see here in Genesis 3, when we talk about removing ourselves, the Bible calls it exile, right? So fear is the first exile that we hear about, right? Not Pharaoh and the Israelites, fear. Fear was the very first thing that caused us to be removed from the clarity of God, from the presence of God, from the environment of God. So let's understand what exile means. It is a person who lives away from their native country, which in these terms, we are living away from heaven. We have the information of heaven. We have the concepts of heaven. We have the precepts of heaven, but we live outside of the boundaries and the protection of heaven by what? You either are exiled by choice or compulsion, right? There's two levels to this. We're living outside of heaven because we have made a choice to the things that we desire. We are moving outside of heaven because we can't control our compulsive nature. This is confirmed in scripture. Let me give it to you. If you have a pen and pad, write this down. And someone write it in the chat for me. We got 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear. Okay. So what does that mean? Let's go back to the beginning, right? If he haven't given us a spirit of fear, then he haven't given us a spirit of misalignment. He haven't given us a spirit of being out of his presence. He hasn't given us a spirit of being out of clarity. He hasn't given us a spirit of being outside of trust. Okay. That is a choice we made based upon our compulsive nature. Okay.